was gonna tweet, or not tweet, but say on Blue Sky, I was gonna say again, can we rat their ass out now? These people. And I hear the same voice. It's like the same tone. It's like, fuck you, man. It's like a white northern accent. Like almost like, fuck you, man. Like this, like, I don't know what that accent is, but I hear that person a lot. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'd say who it sounds like, but I don't want to say the name. But so I said I was gonna do that, and I heard that, and these I don't think we've ever had a situation like this where somebody's, been set up like this. Lots of racism comes out of it. If you can read my mind, and my mind is mine, like, or if I have autonomy, then a lot of racism comes out of it. It's like it's basically pulling out the worst in somebody. It's like mental war. It's like there's disdain and resentment, same old thing. So, and yeah. I keep thinking about, like, if their claim about saying that the device was not designed like that, where once they implanted it can't be over the air updated. I don't know if they're saying that to be, like, for me not to try. Because if it ultimately is Neuralink, then they're just using the data to train Optimus, if that's the case. And again, I guess if there was a clause to say, I would say it, but it's sort of like these are not accusatory. I don't know. There's nothing really to conclude yet about this, or if it is Neuralink, they're just using the data. There's no regard for autonomy. It's like killing a few, or not killing, but it's like I consider this as like a torture of sorts. So, I mean, for the self model to always be like conflicting with autonomy or not autonomy, and for them to be flipping the switch on and off, I think that's pretty fucking unethical. So it is sort of this like unethicalness for the future of an ethical future. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It sounds like eugenics or something. I heard the voice and it says, "Fuck you, sounds like eugenics," and then I got jolted on the right, like my right arm jolted. It's like, you disagree with me, say it to my face, you know. But you're too much of a coward to. Or I guess they can't, because then if they said it to my face, then then the whole gig would be up, right? So they're being very sneaky about it. Whatever they are, whoever they are. They play good cop and bad cop too often, so then you don't really know what's true. You don't know what they're like. They make a plea for you to not talk about it, but in reality, it's like, man, I should be talking about this nonstop. I should be writing about this all the time, and other people should be writing about this all the time. That's what should actually be happening. It shouldn't be this other way where it's like these fear tactics to not speak out about it. I know X or Twitter is involved in some way. I mean, they are, if the check mark thing. That's on Are We Forever. I mean, I don't, that, you might not be able to get them to say that, but so all of those people that have creator revenue and all, you know, like, it's just like, it really comes down to this money versus ethics, you know. I haven't gone on there. I've been hanging out on Blue Sky. But it feels like even something on Blue Sky is strange. That's all I'll say about that, I guess. But yeah, going back to this sort of, like, they designed it to not have a kill switch, or they designed it to not have over-the-air updates, or they designed it this way where to not be able to be shut off. I wish there was a way I could prove that. But how can you when it's just secret? It's a secret. I got jolted on the right arm again. So I get jolted on these sort of like keywords and stuff. Right is correct, left is incorrect. And as soon as I just said left, the left arm jolted. I do find it kind of sus how it's like, so who is it then? Is it like how, as whoever done it really bought out people, where I can't get an EEG, then have them, like, we use this data and publicize it and see where it is? Or will the EEG just look like craziness because it has two fucking voices in it? Or not two voices, but me, supposedly, and then who's ever talking over my mind and then jolting me with like these, I'm gonna shock you, and then shocking me. Nothing's really happening with the country right now. I mean, the last time I looked on there, it looked like Trump signed something about African aid or something. And tariffs. I guess a tariff is, I'm not sure about this, a tariff is a tax, I guess, on another country for importing and exporting. Is this correct? So I don't know where the country's going to go with Trump. I read something about Elizabeth Warren saying about how Doge Doge, the basically OMB, wanted to get all the records, financial records, to see how you can budget it. I don't know if there are, maybe there's not even that sort of data like that. Like what, like the debit cards or... And then you like, I don't know, it just seems so strange. Like we have the OMB. I feel like if we truly wanted to make America like better, or America new, we would have some sort of like central place to go, you know. I guess you can go to USA.gov, but you know, there's no ads, or there's no PSAs, or there's no like propaganda to inform the citizen of this. Like there's still shitty YouTube ads that talk about government programs, or talk about how the government's lying to you and stealing your money. So it's like, it still goes unregulated. I remember Obama changed something with, I don't know, is it like less, like this actual discussion about like, if you spend a year in prison, is that different from 5 years? At what point in that term that you're serving, are you like, damn, I fucked up, you know? And then, so is that on the 9th month? Is that on the first month you're in there? Is that like the 2nd month? You know? Is it on the first year, and then the rest of the 4 years are just, you're just killing time, you know? So it would be really amazing to like look into this psychologically. And I think people have too. We like brandish this like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, a quarter of a lifetime, a fourth of a lifetime. I think it's this way where it's like, I mean, obviously you can only fine somebody so much, but you know, like a debt that you have to pay off. And then I guess you can get into the argument of, well, what if they don't pay? What if there's no work? Do they do community service? I guess yes, you know. Where every day you gotta pick up trash, at least for 2 hours a day. Yeah, I don't know. What's better, that or prison? So, I hate the future looking like this. I hate the future where it's like somebody messes up or makes a mistake, or it's always the poor, you know? I mean, not always, but for the most part, it's always the poor. And then there's this argument, well, I was poor and I never did anything messed up. Well, okay. Maybe you had, I don't know. I guess we all get lost a little sometimes. So, back to this, this sort of thing with the device. I guess there's no way to really know if this device can be shut off or not. I guess there's really no way of knowing if it can, or if the code can be like, or if it's just a solid state device where they communicate with some sort of satellite or something, like a separate thing. But I remember talking to GPT about this, where you can mask specific Bluetooth frequencies, or you can encrypt things and make things look invisible. And it's funny because I'll Google some of it, like I'll Google people that have implants and they'll talk about similar things, but I haven't heard anybody talking about the dialogue that and then shocks you. I haven't heard about that. And none of these people have a check mark that is related to Nolan. Right, jolt on the arm. So some was saying that they were messing with their like organs. That I felt was that I related to, like even the intestine is an organ, I think, isn't it? I don't know, maybe it's not. But the heart, and so I guess I don't know how I'll figure that out. I don't know how to figure that out. If, like, how do you find that out? How do you find that out if they're either lying about, oh, we can't turn it off, man, we can't turn it off, we really can't, man, you know? Like, how do you tell if they're lying or if they're being sincere? But then again, I remember who these people are. These are the people that have pushed me to madness. These are the people that have yelled at me at night, you know? So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to trust them. I certainly don't like them in my mind. And the incentive is they keep trying to corral and say, you know, don't hate us or don't dislike us or don't say things that like this. But how can you when you know you're a fucking hostage? You know that you're locked in and they're locking you away. So I guess it goes back to this sort of this thing where it's like, how do you know if they're lying or they're not lying with the device? How do you know that they can't? Maybe they, and this is a maybe, we're just doing maybes all fucking day, but, you know, where they can put in a code or rework the code or something, or update it somehow, where they can shut it down. So then you have to ask myself, well, what would be the reasons why they would not want to shut it down? More data? Me washing the dishes a few times more? Me doing yard work, mowing more? Me cleaning up things more? More data? And the spine? Like, you know, this sort of like, what's the reason why they would be lying about this? Is it because it's like a company killer? Like it's like a lawsuit like this? But then you can't prove it, so then what are they worried about, you know? So what's their incentive? Yeah. So then, is their incentive large enough to lie and be like, well, we only tell them that we can't shut it off because we want it to work or something, this sort of thing like this. I don't know what to believe. So, I guess I roll with it. I don't know. Because how do they end up conveying to me that they really can't turn it off or they can turn it off? It's all trust. And I don't have an implant in them, and I'm not reading them, or controlling them. So I don't fucking know. So it's sad, this, It's like it's turned into this horrible thing. And I think they walk, because how can you prove such a thing? Really, how can you prove such a thing? You can't, It's all hearsay, this. I mean, I could have swore I was hearing, it's like they got like a room of people and they step in and out the room or something. I guess that's a start. That there's an actual place where these people are stepping in and out. I guess that's up to the government or the NSA to figure that one out. They got the tech and I don't. I guess you find where all these people are stepping in and out of talking, And it might give you some scent. So but yeah, this sort of argument makes sense, I guess. Like, oh, we made a device, and the device it's running on its local software, and there's no way to update this software. But then everything seems to be updatable. It's not like a fucking calculator, But then if they designed it like that, then I don't know what to. Like, if that was the purpose of them designing it like this, so that they cannot update it. So then if it is this way, if they're lying, then they should shut the fucking implant off. And I bet your ass that I would be able to feel it. Like, I bet that if they turned it off and they stopped whatever they were doing, I would feel like myself, like that. And I just don't know how you would convince them. I can say, please turn it off. Please turn it off. I've signed this paper. And that doesn't do anything. Clearly. But I think I did good by signing that paper. I wanted to get it notarized, and they didn't want me to get it notarized in my mind. They said not to. And I was like, okay. They put so much onus and pressure on this. I guess it makes more for a legal mess. But then good, right? Isn't that a good thing? Because it's evil what they're doing. I don't have enough money to get it notarized anyway, so. It's not like it. The damn post is on there. Nobody's liked it. Nobody's. So. It's hard. That's also difficult too. That also fucks with the head. The sort of like, if I'm being paranoid or if I'm not being paranoid, or if I'm overlooking something or if I'm not overlooking something, or this fucks with your head. So, I guess if they can, then I said yesterday. Yesterday I was laying in bed and I just kept saying, I kept repeating, I do not consent to this implant. Please shut it all down. Please shut it all down. I kept saying this over and over and over again. Like probably said it like 50 to 100 times or something. I said it outside of, with verbally, like saying it like this. And then I said it inside of the mind. And then I would say it outside of the mind. I would say it inside of the mind. Just to cover all grounds, I guess. And then that's when I would stop, and then they're like, I would hear that voice again that I was talking about in the beginning of the recording. That's what I'd hear that voice say. We can't turn it off. It's designed that way. So that's where that all started from. Or that's where that started from. So, that's the tea. It's cold tea, but it's tea. And I know I'm saying tea as though I can only say that it's fucked up enough, you know. I can only talk about it in this vein of being similar to a Nazi experiment. So, you know, I could say that, but trying to be a little light with it here. But I do hope that America really does sort of heal itself. There's not much going on, I guess. But these posters and the resource-based economy. I don't know if I fully believe in that, but these posters and this sort of view of this, of the essential work and the essential jobs and COVID and what's the point and single payer and all this. These are all like coming to terms with death and life and being like, wow, you know, like maybe there's something more important than fucking a basketball contract or a football contract, or somebody gets signed to some label or American Idol or the big gold button, you know, like maybe there's something a little more to this. Maybe there's something worth more than packed venues and $1 million revenues, and maybe there's something a little more solid and wholesome than this, because in the reality of it, if somebody had to choose between a ticket to see your favorite artist or healthcare when you needed it, I feel like maybe somebody would pick the healthcare. And then how do you also, because then you're not always sick all the time, so when you don't feel so good, you don't feel so good, you know? So that's not a slight at anybody, but that's what I could think, that's what I thought about venues and stuff. The demigods, I guess. They're cursing at me. So they don't respect it. So somebody should take their toy away. Their Nazi toy. I can hear them. I can hear them talking. They keep bringing up things and pushing their thing. So, if you know who these people are, they have a serious problem. But I don't really know who they are. I can make as many guesses as I want. But yeah, that arena comment is not a slight at anything. That's what just groups of people, you know. So there's lots of way to generate revenue. We don't often think about at least I know I didn't start thinking about all this till like 6 years ago. Back in 2000 and 2019, 2020. I was like, damn, I'm in a void. I'm in a fucking dark room. I exist in a dark void of space, you know? And then that kind of got me all thinking about all this. Like our problems and, I don't know, charity and forced charity, the forced rich tax, the forced charity. Organized charity. Having it in one pool instead of fucking like 500 of them. So that you actually know if it's going, you know, to... Anyways. I don't know if that helps, but I hope it helps. But yeah, I don't think these people, the voices in my head and the captors and the, I guess, captors / watchers / autonomy takers, I don't think they have any respect for the silence of it. So, because if they were, or if they did, then they would stop talking in my mind, wouldn't they?